Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video I'm gonna show you my save and load system. It's very simple system to use, very easy to save your game, multi-profile support, cross-platform, like everything you need in a saving system, and it's very simple to use. So first, when you open the asset, you will have these files here, and this is the example scene. If you go to scene and click on demo, you will see this scene right there. And if you click play, nothing happens, of course, because you don't have any saving profile. So for example, this is like mimicking your game. Let's start a new game, for example. Of course, there is no game here, it's just an example. In this game, like, you have a progress and the player position. So let's play. For example, click play. As you can see, it just randomized the progress and the player position. So this is just like in your game, you are progressing, your player is changing position and stuff. And if we close the game, of course nothing happened because we didn't save. So let's start a new game again. So when you don't save, you just have an empty profiles. Let's play a little. So this is here, you can see 11, and this is position. We click save. As soon as we save the game, we have a file that we can delete or we can open it. So now if we click the game, and if we kill the game and open it again, you can see everything is saved, and you can see the load is very fast. Like as soon as I click, everything is loaded. So let's see the file. Let's click on open file location. So it will take us to the location depend on the platform you are in. So if you are on Android or on iOS, on, I don't know, Linux, anything, you have this specific file location. As you can see here, we have two files. One is called game.save and one is called game.back. So this is the main saving file, and this is the backup file in case something happened for your saving file while you are saving, it's corrupted or something. The system will use the backup file. So let's open the save file and see. This is how it looks. It's encrypted, so there is no way people can cheat in your game. This is encrypted with the code, so no one can cheat. This is what they see when they open your file. So let's see if like we delete something. Like for example, it's corrupted when you saving, like your system shut down when you are saving. So let's corrupt the file and delete some lines. And now if we go back to the game, let's close it. Let's open it now. Let's clear the console. As you can see, even if we corrupted the file, it still loads the data, and it gives us a warning message here that says attempting to use the backup file. So I failed to load data from the normal file, and it says data loaded using the backup file. Original file was corrupted, so it tells you that the original file is corrupted. And you have a green message here that show you the data loaded successfully. And same if we change some shit, which says like the data progress update successfully, the data position update successfully. You can disable this debug messages. I will show you how later. And if we save, it will tell you data saved successfully, and if it's failed to save, it will give you a error message or exception. So for example, let's open another. So let's start a game here, and let's play and save. Now if we leave the game and open again, as you can see, each profile is loaded differently, and here there is no profile here, so it just keeps saying start a new game. If your game have one profile, so it doesn't matter. So this is just better to have multiple profile in your game, and you can have unlimited amount of profiles, and you can call them whatever you like. For example, here we have slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and each slot we have this profile slot script associated to it. So this is just an example script. Can I move it? Thank you. This is just an example script, so it's not mandatory. You can delete it later just to show you. For example, let's go to profile 3 and let's change the profile ID to something like view, for example. Now let's play and start a new game. As you can see, it tells you profile and then the profile name, which is view. And let's play a little, save it. Now let's open file location. As you can see, if we go to file location here and we go back one file, it shows you the profile with the name that you want, like profile 1 and 2 and 3. Each profile have its saving file and the backup file, which is the same, it's just a backup file. So this is it for the file. If you want to change the file's names, for example, and or the file's extension, you can go here to data. As you can see, when you install the profile, you will have this tab here. Click on data and then click on configuration, and it will shows you this scriptable object. You can change the file name. In my case, we call it game. So if we open it, you will see it's game. And the extension, so here we have the file extension, which is .save, and the backup file extension, which is .back. And here we have, this is very important, it's encryption enabled. Like, for example, let me show you. Let's disable the encryption. We disable the encryption, we open the game. As you can see, even if we disable the encryption, the data will still load. Like, the system knows you are disabling it, so it will not encrypt the files. Let's delete these profiles. You can see we can delete it. We have a red message here. Of course, you have to do like a confirmation message in your game. Just don't let's play, just click delete, and yeah, they lose all the data. So here, if I open the game again, there's no data. This data is deleted, like it's gone. It will not come back. Let's delete this profile too. Now let's open the game, start a new game, let's play, let's save. Now if we save and we open the file location, if we open it, as you can see, it's just a normal JSON file that anyone can change. Like, I can go to progress, set it to 100%. I can change the position. For example, let's make it 1 and 1 and 1. And now let's save the file, go back to the game. Where is it? Leave it. As you can see, everything changed. So people can cheat if you don't enable the encryption, but if the data is encrypted, no one can change it. Like, they can't read it. It's just random things. And of course, you have this encryption key. So this is the key you use for encryption, encrypting and decrypting the data. So make sure no one knows about this key and make it complex and long. For example, you can use this key, like no one knows you are using my system anyway, or you can just change like the numbers and stuff, but make it always complicated. Don't make it obvious, because some advanced hackers can know the key from reading that shitty like text, random text. They can know the key, but if you type it like this, no one can know it, trust me. Maybe some advanced hackers, but I don't know how anyway. So make sure this is always enabled. You just disable it for debugging, like if you wanna read the data or something. This is the only reason why you want to disable it, so keep it enabled. Here we have we're gonna see autoload later. Here we have the debug, or the color debug. As you can see, here we have colors. We have a green debug here. We can disable it, and we just have an ugly white debugs here. You can disable it, for example, if you're using white mode. Sometimes you can't read the text. I'm using dark mode. For some reason, if you're using white mode, I don't know why, but yeah, it's here if you want. And you can disable debug at all. Like, you just click the game, play, save. There is no log message here, so yeah, you can disable it if you want. Keep it enabled for like I don't know, for development or something. And for the auto load, here you can see when I start the game, like when I play the game, it's always auto loaded. Right? You can see here, data loaded successfully. There's no load button here, but in case you don't want auto load, you can disable it. Let's disable it and open. Yeah, nothing happened here, because I'm not calling load profile from this script, and there's no button for it. So keep it enabled if you want. I don't know, it depends on you, but keep it enabled. So this is for the configuration. So now let's go to the script and see how to use the system. So let's take, for example, this slot script here. This is an example script, as you can see. Let's open it, and we have this script with nice comments here that shows you what this does, why we did that, why we did that. You can read it by yourself and see, or I just follow the video and I will tell you just what it does. The first thing you have to do is you have to use this using data management, so you have the access to do data scripts. And let's start the script. First thing, you have to create the data object, and yeah, that's it. You just have to create the data object basically, and this is all the things to related to slot like buttons and text and UI stuff. And you need a profile ID. For example, the default to 0. If you don't have, like in multiple profile games, you can just use a profile with a random name, or just keep it to 0, or anything you like. But in my game I have different slots, so I have multiple profiles. So, and now let's use this data. This data is the only thing you have to use in this system. Let's go to start. When we start, we have to create a new data object so we can access it. So just type like data equal new data and pass in the profile ID. And that's all what you have to do to create the data. Now you just want to like save the game or load the game or change the data. So this is just related to the script. So we have here, we're gonna see data that has data, and we check if we has a data called progress. If we do, means we already have progress in this profile. If we don't, it means we don't have profile at all. Like this is new profile, there is no data on it. So it's here just to check. But the most important is here the saving set data thing. Here, when we randomize this randomize function, as you can see here, we have data.set data. We pass in the data tag, which is the progress, call it whatever you like, but this is case sensitive. You need to remember the data tag and the data. And as you can see, it's modular. For example, the progress is an integer and the position is a vector, so which means it's struct. As you can see here, we have the same function for both. If you pass your mouse here, it tells you the data and the type is integer. And if you pass your mouse here, it tells you the type is struct or a vector tree. And also you can save classes. For example, you don't have to save like a separate data like this. You can just make a class with a bunch of data and save the class. That's all you have to do. And yeah, that's all how to set the data. But this is setting the data, not saving the data. If you want to save, you have just to call this data.save profile. That's all you have to do. This is how to save the game. And the set data, of course, you're gonna set it like this. This is we write the data to the JSON file, and this, where is it? We'll save the data. And now let's see how we access the data. For example, we saved a class, and we want to access that class from the saving file. So how to do it is very simple. Let's go to load slot data, for example here. Yeah. So just type data.getData. We specify the data type and the tag. As you can see here, the tag is progress, is the same tag we set it here when we set the data. So yeah, that's all you have to do to get the data. You just type get data, the type, and the tag. Get data, vector tree, and the type. And it will return, this will return a vector tree, and this will return an int. As you can see, it's the same function. Like there is no extra work. And yeah, and there is like a lot of other things like deleting the profile. You can just see this the data script. Where is it? I can't see it now, I'm lazy to open it, but there is a documentation that you can see here. If you open the documentation, it will tells you like everything you need to know: how to save data, how to set data, how to load, how to delete profile, how like what you can save. As you can see here, we have a class. The class contains a string, an int, a list, a dictionary, a struct, another class inside the class. So you can save this example data here, the class called example data. You can save the complete class and access it from the save file, and you can access the name, the integer, the list, and dictionary. So yeah, the system is very versatile. Like you can save a dictionary and the list, which is a really big problem. You can even save an array. So yeah, everything is savable here. Of course, you cannot save Unity specific things like game objects and scenes, which is another game object. So yeah, you can't save these things. You save C# things. I mean, you don't need to save a game object. That is all what you have to do. If you want to save a scene or game object, so you are doing something wrong in your game. So yeah, that's all guys. You can read this script. This is just an example script. This is why it looks complicated, but it's not. Like, the only things it's using from the data is this: creating a new data. It's auto loaded, so when you do this, it's load automatically. If it's not auto loaded, you just type data dot load profile, and that's it. This is how you load the data. But in my case, the configuration is auto loaded. And if you want to get the data, for example, we loaded the data now, and we go to get data. For example, if you don't want to get an error message, you can first check if we have this progress data. Like, you can just type data that has data, and I can't type, man. Yeah, has data, and you just type the tag, and this is a boolean. It will return true or false. If you have the data already saved, it will tell you true, or otherwise it will say false. So yeah, get data, and if you want to save the data, just type set data. I mean set the data, not saving the data. And if you set the data in your game, and then if you exit or you have checkpoints or anything, you just call data.save profile, and this will write the whole file, the whole data into this JSON encrypted file. As you can see, you can read the comments here. It tells you make sure to make a checkpoints to save data. Also call it on application kit. I don't recommend you to call it only on application kit, because sometimes if your PC crash, this will not be called on application kit. It will not be called. So yeah, make checkpoints in your game and save the data there. So yeah, I think the video is already too long for such a simple system. You can get the system now in the Unity Asset Store. It's a very cheap price for what it gives you. Like, you don't need anything, you just need this system for all your games, and you can use it like network. Like, you can use it for data save. I mean for cloud saving. If you go to scripts and you go to data scripts, you have this data file handler, and if you open it, we have this local files and save local. The system local saving system, but you can like use in online saving and loading. Of course, I cannot implement the script here, but it's here, so it's capable. You just have to upload the JSON file to your cloud server and download it from there and use it if you want to have a cloud saving system. Of course, every server have its own APIs and stuff, so yeah, you can even use Google Drive. I tried the system with Google Drive and it works perfectly fine. So yeah guys, this is everything you need to know about the system. You can read the documentation, as you can see, to learn more about it. And yeah, this is the end of the video, and see you in the next time.